All vehicle services out here. We're not going to come find you at your rigs if you got something catastrophic going on. If you're back there, let us know. But everything should be done out here. So we have the painted lines we're doing for the start line for the lead and chase. They're not painted. They won't let us paint. So there's blue cones there where those lines would be. So that's really the only difference there. Any questions for me? Another thing, if we're doing sights during comp, the turnaround cone that's way out there, we don't need to run all the way out there and turn around. So we'll probably shorten that up if we're doing that, but yeah, there's no reason to run all the way out there. Adam?
I don't remember if it was like this last year, but were the cones on the other side of the track? Did those move?
They were not. The 3-2-1s are on the other side, and then there's white lines painted across.
That's how it was last year?
No, they were on traditional side, driver's right last year, so they're moved now.
Is there any reason why we're doing that?
I don't know.
You run them all over. And
Yeah, because we run them over.
You set them like 5 feet into the grass?
Yeah, like I don't know about other people, but I always prefer them to be on the same side we're entering, just for like a visual, because it's kind of awkward to be looking like the opposite side.
Right.
But there's not much visual out
It could be really far away, and for me, like I'd still rather have it on the same side as the first corner, but like I'm cool with whatever the majority wants.
What's the majority want? 3-2-1s driver's left or 3-2-1s driver's right? Both? That's a lot. I mean, driver's right, raise your hand. 3-2-1 cones. Driver's left. Crickets. Okay, Kevin's back there. He's listening, watching, concerned, upset. Anything else for me?
Is it just the 3-2-1 that they're not allowing you to paint?
The 3-2-1 is
Lines?
painted
Oh.
on the big fancy racetrack. They're not letting us paint.
Got it. All right, here we go. Let's see. All right, here's our schedule for today. I'll upload all this to Discord for you guys. Tomorrow, the only difference is we're going to add a meeting at 11:30, same room here. I guess that won't apply to you guys tomorrow. It'll be for Saturday for you guys. So we'll do that one at 11:30. Here's the track. Here's our current look at how we'll probably do the momentum map. It may change. If so, we'll let your spotters know and we'll update it in Discord. But chances are this will probably be the way it'll stick. Similar to last year. Initiation, same as always, lead driver, initiate wide on driver's right, no later than the 1 marker, so it'll go 3-2-1. Those will now be on the right-hand side, so in the next picture, just pretend those are on the right-hand side, but there's the white line, so you know what it looks like as you approach outer zone 1. So we'll get those cones moved for you, but the white lines will stay there. When you get to outer zone 1, there's no wall this year, so lead driver should approach outer zone 1 confidently on the edge of the track. Try not to do a bunch of dirt drops like he mentioned to keep dirt from going on the other side of the track, but otherwise fill the entire zone. We've moved it down about 25 feet from the start of where it was last year, and then we've extended it about another 25, 30 feet. So here you can see the old line where it was, so we've pushed it down a little bit, and then when you get to the other end, you can see where we've extended it. Otherwise, should be about the exact same size. Then you'll transition, go to outer zone 2. This one, you want to carry the momentum from outer zone 1, then you want to pour on angle if you need to for outer zone 2. Make sure you do it after you transition. Don't start slowing down before you actually transition the car across the track. The ideal run will not need to go on the rumble strip, but if you do, there won't be a deduction. You can go 3 tires off at this track. Chase driver should follow the lead driver, match a better angle throughout that zone. Here's what it looks like going into it. So if you do go up on the rumble strip, it'll lift your car a little bit, so that might unsettle it as well. And again, same as last year, the beginning of the zone is just a line, but then when you get about halfway through, you do have the wall. So there it is. That is in the same place as last year as well. And let's see, then you're gonna go to outer zone 3. When you go that way, please stay on throttle when you're in outer zone 2 to keep that momentum to go. I know a couple people last year would leave outer zone 3 a little bit early and would set up your transition to get into 4 awkward. So if you can keep on throttle, build that speed up and continue it through outer zone 3, it should help you get to the end of it. But it is a long zone. That one is in the exact same place as well. So here's the pictures in the wall there, same as before. That white line that you see in front of the car, you can ignore that one. That's one that's for the track. But we have another white line that's just on the other side of that one that does the inside of the course, so that'll delineate it. And it's hard to tell here, but at the end of the red and white Jersey barriers, there's another white line on driver's left, and that is the edge of the track too. So if you go over that, that's where we start counting tire drops, same as last year. Then you'll transition to outer zone 4. You'll approach the wall. Right here, it was wet. It should be hopefully getting close to dry by now. This was earlier this morning. You still got the delineator marker up on the fence, so you should be able to see that easier as you're coming around. The outer zone is going to be shorter than last year, so where the yellow line goes across just past that access road, that is where the new finish line is, so it is shorter than last year. Once you cross that, you can kind of unwind the angle and then drive up the track. Try not to drift up the oval if you can. Questions on course layout? Yes.
What was the reason for extending outer zone 1?
Watching the video, a lot of the drivers were anyway going that distance outside of it to go and then transition back across. And a lot of guys that would leave it early would end up going up the rumble strip to make outer zone 2. So watching footage, we just figured this one gave you a little bit more of a run up going, because I know in years past people have asked to keep pushing the start line further back, and we can't go any further because of the wall now. So this should give you guys just a little bit extra. And then when you come back across, it should be a little bit smoother arc to get into outer zone 2.
My concern, just to be mindful of, is now that distance from outside zone 1 to the next zone is a lot shorter, and that was already like a tricky area to slow down. And since we're expected to be on throttle through the whole zone, I can see a lot of weird stuff happening there where people may potentially start slowing down in the zone. So just something to be mindful of as judges.
Okay. All right. Yes, Odie?
Can you repeat the 3 wheels off and surpassing the zone?
Give me a second.
Just what you said, can you just repeat it? I didn't get it.
For what part? Where was it?
I think it was outer zone 2 when you're starting to talk about it, but it might be in general what 3 wheels mean at this
Oh,
point.
here. Oh, we're not counting rumble strip as off track as with normal tracks, but everywhere else it's 3 tires off. So for like even outer zone 1, if you drop 3 off, then that's where we give you the incomplete.
Okay, but the rumble going into 2 is okay.
Yeah, it's just be aware that it's elevated here quite a bit, so it's going to unsettle your car.
That's what will slow it down. Perfect.
Are you gonna want to see like more angling up coming out of 1, transitioning to 2, then obviously like slowing, like using angle to slow to like get that transition? Is that what you guys are gonna be looking
We still
for
want you
more?
to keep maintain the angle that you had going through outer zone 1, but we don't want you to like start pouring out at the very end to slow down before the transition. Always slow down after you make the transition. Yes.
About the outer zone 1, now that is extended further down and the cones are still at the same place. I remember last year it was important that we went on throttle as soon as the zone starts. If that is extended, what do you want to see there? Because the run-up is still the same pace-wise.
So let's see. So yeah, there's your things. We still want you to transition and go into it. It's just a lot of people last year also, like it was gradual when you would get your angle on, so this should kind of allow you to be gradual and then have that angle by the time you get into the start of the zone.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. Anything you guys want to add? Or? Are we good? Yes.
It's a thing every year here, but what is DB, what's the rules, finish line, is it the track, is it this? I know every year even every event, we kind of have to figure out what the rules are going to be for that, so.
That shouldn't be an issue with us having a shorter finish line now, so hopefully nobody's going to DB going up on the bank. That's going to be,
Yeah, I know.
everything else is just the walls. So,
Yeah, it's just the last corner.
Yeah.
If you do DB, especially like, let's say a chase driver is following a lead driver, you don't know exactly where you're at, they finish wide instead of finishing down the track, chase driver DBs, then what?
You're gonna have to see when it occurred, right? So
yeah, I think it's just going to be a case-by-case basis, and then we'll consult with Kevin and determine what that is. But hopefully now with this changed and further back, you guys will be unwound enough and you'll be driving up the bank versus staying on the finish almost to the very end of it.
But just for the sake of clarity, give them a ruling of what would happen if somebody did DB going up on the bank, even though that the finish line is shorter, so that they know that it's an okay or a no, you're screwed type thing.
So if you're on the racing surface and you go and you hit that thing, the bank, right, and you're where you're supposed to be, and the tire comes off, that's on the racing surface, right? So in that situation, if that's what happens, you're probably going to get a tire. But if you leave the racing surface and you go into the dirt or whatever, you're not going to get a tire.
What about between 1 and 2? Like if you bump that rumble strip?
Have we had that yet?
I don't know if that's happened, but now it'll probably happen. But I mean, you're allowed to go there, so. Yes, Kevin.
If we start hitting the bank, they're gonna make us put a wall there.
Yeah, I mean, with the way that the finish is, you're not going to be over in that gnarly section of the track, right? But like Kevin just said, if we're doing that and the dude who owns the track is up in the suite next to us and he's watching it like he was last year, there might be a wall there tomorrow. So let's not do that.
About outside zone 4? A little bit, yeah. You want to add to it? Here.
Just so there could be consistency with what we told Pro Spec, when you guys go into outside zone 4, it's your duty as the lead driver to calculate, scrub that speed appropriately, and going into outside zone 4. If you come in too fast and then you get on throttle like we're asking and that takes you off track, that's on you. You came in too fast, you got on throttle, you didn't calculate it right, that's your fault. You have to calculate approaching outside zone 4, getting ready going into outside zone 3, exiting, calculate your speed, transition, calculate your slowdown, and then get on throttle in outside zone 4. If you're halfway through outside zone 4 and you light off and the chase driver is close and we catch it, that's on you. You guys understand that?
Do you think that the radius of this corner is going to encourage getting on throttle by the start of the zone? Because I know almost every year here, it's a different throttle pickup point.
Well, we
And it's
actually
kind of
have
a pain in the
videos to
ass.
show you of 2 people going that. So I know you guys wanted to show us videos, so we do have some footage here. Obviously, it's not exactly the way we have it set up right now, but it should give you a good idea. And if we can find better video footage over the next day or 2 before we have the meeting again, then we'll present that as well too, just so we can have some clarity there. Is that cool?
Yeah, if you want.
Odie?
Is the radius of outer zone 4 the same as it was last year?
Yes, sir.
It's just cut shorter?
It just ends shorter, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, transitions in, gets on outside zone 2, on throttle, smooth all the way up. Transition, and then back on throttle, staying through. And that's where the end would be right there, not right there. I think we had one of James as well too.
You're talking beginning of the zone starts on the wall, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was on the throttle either.
Yeah. What are we talking here, boys?
Well, I said, this was last year, right? Obviously, the critique there is when you get into outside zone 4, we would like you to be on throttle there. Now, we can see there a clear example of maybe a little bit too late, all right? But we're gonna be looking for you to calculate, that's why I said at first, calculate that transition, make sure you're at the appropriate speed, and then light off when you get into the zone.
I think the one worry with this is, Reese, if you really want us to pick up the throttle at the start of the zone, you could have slowing down in the wrong direction in between 3 and 4, pulling momentum from 3 to 4, and a little bit of that versus slamming on the brakes at the end of 3.
That's what I mean about calculating that transition coming. If it's a hard like decel because you realize you messed up and you have to make up for it, that's gonna be on you. But you should be modulating that speed, exiting 3, getting ready to transition into 4, and be at the appropriate speed. Obviously, we're gonna watch it and see if there's any crazy inconsistency. Hold on one second. Adam?
I was just gonna say, watching back those runs, that like transition from outer zone 1 to 2, like I'm very concerned that's not gonna work with what you guys are asking us to do with it going later. So in the event that it doesn't work and we aren't able to do what you're asking us to do we have the ability to change it, or are we just gonna adapt the momentum map if we need to decel in the zone?
Probably adapt the momentum map if we need to.
We'll adapt the momentum map is what I'm being told. But we'll keep a look at that and we'll touch base on that for the meeting.
Okay.
The next meeting for sure. Odie?
I mean, there's nothing inherently wrong with this, but what's gonna happen is in zone 4, we're gonna get on throttle for a fraction of a second and then lift back off. That's just I mean, you guys probably know, but just letting you know, it's because where we're lighting off, we're about to light off, the finish line is less than 10 feet after that. So it'll just be like a blip. But if we're all doing it the same and we know what to expect, just letting you guys know, like, hey, that's how it's gonna roll.
Absolutely. I mean, we're gonna look at you guys and see what's going on. And again, we'll touch base on it again. But after we see this layout and we see you guys go through it, we'll bring it back up and be like, hey, look, this is what we saw, and then I'm sure we can agree upon something before we go into everything. Is there another hand?
I was just gonna say, I'm just curious on what's the scenario if somebody's just skating across the finish line off throttle, but we'll get there tomorrow or Friday.
Copy.
whatever.
I'm just wondering about like track conditions. If it does rain enough, is there anything in place for outer four with that whole muddy spot? Like, is there anything we can do to,
Like to clean it up and stuff like that?
it's gonna be more than just water right there.
Right.
We have a pump if it gets gnarly, but the problem is that the drain pipe's like an inch above the surface. We were told they fixed it, but obviously it's not. But we'll do the best that we can. We can push water off. We can do whatever.
It's kind of a critical spot right
Right.
there.
Yeah, there's a lot of momentum going into that spot, so I am also concerned about that, but again, we're gonna be playing a close eye on that, and I'm sure we can adapt and figure out something before we get into the big show. Any other questions? Sid? All right.
Good luck.
What are your nerds?